Hey to all my TikTok users out there. Today we got an exclusive video just for you guys. I'm going to be covering Rumiko Takayashi's wonderful manga series, at least volume one, the first issue, that is, Mason Ikkoku. Just to give you some idea and some info on Mason Ikkoku, it's written and drawn by Rumiko Takayashi. Rumiko Takayashi, an artist from Japan, writer artist. She started her career in the first big work, we'll say, was in 1978 with Urasi Yatsura. Um, and then in 1980, her second big work debuted, which is Maison Ikkoku. Maison Ikkoku ran from 1980 to 1986. It had 15 volumes. Then in 1987, they did an animated series which lasted 93 episodes. They had 3 OVAs, an animated movie, and also a live action movie, which I haven't seen yet, but I'm very curious about. Mason Ikkoku essentially is kind of a very sweet but wacky love story set in a rundown boarding house called the Mason Ikkoku. I'm going to first give you guys a quick overview of the characters, and then I'm going to go into essentially the first issue. I couldn't cover the entire volume one, because it's 214 pages, and that's just too much to cover in a 10-minute video. So onward I go. Our first character, and our one of two main characters, is the young Godai. Godai is our main character, and he's a struggling, aspiring to be a college student, I guess I shall say, because he's not a college student yet. He failed all of his tests to get into college, so he's at this boarding house, and he's trying to study because he desperately wants to enter the world of college. He's a kind-hearted kid, sweet and kind, a bit of a daydreamer, and a bit irresponsible at times, but he's a good dude. The next main character would be Kyoko Antanashi. She's a couple years older than young Godai. She's 21. She's a young widower. She's entering the world of the Maison Ikkoku. She gets introduced in the very first couple pages as the new manager. She's got a lot on her shoulders, and she's trying to wrangle all these different characters, which I'll introduce in a minute. And she's also trying to recover from a broken heart because her husband passed away recently. So she's got a lot on her plate. She's also a little bit stubborn and a little bit crazy at times, which you'll see hopefully if you read the series. Some of our supporting characters I'll get into right now. We have Akemi. Akemi is a fiery redheaded waitress who's another wacky character who gets in all sorts of trouble. She likes to walk around the house drunk and usually scantily clad, and she's known to have fits of rage and, drunken rage, shall we say. She's a bit of a character, as I think most of the characters are in this particular graphic novel series. Our next character is Hana Ichinese, and guys, I'm sorry about mispronouncing names. It's even worse when it comes to Japanese names. It's one thing. It's bad enough when I do it with American names, but even worse when it comes to Japanese names. So I apologize. Hana Ichinese is a middle-aged woman who lives with her husband and son, and she's often found drunk dancing around the house and spreading gossip. She loves to bust young Godai's chops, and she loves to spread gossip. And her character has a really cool character arc, and like all the other characters, they're really interesting and a lot of fun to read. Our last main character, as far as like supporting characters, that's presented in the very first issue is Yatsuya. Now, Yatsuya is a very mysterious character. He wears a trench coat and a hat, and he is very little known about him. Essentially, that's his last name. Nobody knows his first name. He comes and goes in the middle of the night. He's another drunken buffoon of a character who's known for busting young Godai's chops, often blackmailing him for food. He's also a pretty big pervert, and I'll get into that in a second. So that's kind of like the introduction to our main characters, at least as far as the very first issue in Volume 1. First issue starts off with young Godai yelling and screaming and saying, enough is enough, I can't handle this place anymore, I'm trying to study, and that's it, I'm leaving. And pretty much all of his fellow co-characters, the ones I just described, except for Kyoko, of course, are all busting his chops. Like, isn't that the third time this month that you threatened to leave and get out of this place? And he's like, no, but this is it, for real, I'm done. And as he walks downstairs, he's introduced to Kyoko, the young widower who will soon become the resident manager of this boarding house. He's instantly smitten, and they're all saying, "Oh, I thought you were leaving. I thought you were leaving." He's like, "Oh, no, I was just joking about that. I'm not leaving. I'm not going anywhere." He realizes this girl he's instantly just attracted to, and he wants to hang around. So that's kind of like the very basic intro. In the very first issue, there's all sorts of wacky hijinks, like they want to throw Kyoko a welcoming party, and unfortunately, young Godai has to study for his entrance exam, and they insist on having this welcoming party in his room. So, chaos ensues. Yatsuyu, the mysterious character I was telling you about, burrows a hole that goes in between his closet and young Godai's closet, so that he can just kind of come in and go as he pleases. He can barge into the room. So that gives you a little what's going on, some of the craziness that's happening with his character. He also makes a little peeping hole that goes into their neighbor Akimi's room, the fiery redhead that I described earlier. She realizes this soon, Akimi, and she brings this to our new manager, Kyoko's attention. She goes to investigate, and because it's in young Godai's room, young Godai is accused, of course, of being this huge pervert, which, he's a 19-year-old guy, I'm sure. He's interested in women, but he's, believe it or not, he's not really this huge pervert. It's all of these crazy characters that are just you feel like they're almost trying to make his life more difficult. You see there's an instant attraction between Godai and Kyoto. But Kyoto, she's not quite ready, being a widow. She's just trying to get over that, and she kind of sees him more at first like as a doting young brother. She's trying to help him and have a friendship, but you can kind of tell that there is like a connection, and that, my friends, is a basic introduction. And like I said, I'm running short on time here, so this is a very basic introduction to the world of Maison Ikkoku. There are 15 volumes, most of which you can see in the frame here, not all. It's a really great series. It's a very fun, lighthearted series, but it's got a lot of heart, guys, and it's very well written. And Rumiko Takahashi, like I said, she gets a lot of love and respect, and she deserves every ounce of it. This particular series, I feel like, doesn't get enough love. I feel like it's not as well known, and that's part of the reason why I wanted to make this video for you guys. Like I said, you can also seek out the animated series. You can buy physical copies of it. It's a little bit hard to track down, but they're out there. It's also, from what I understand, premiering on the animated streaming channel Crunchyroll. So check that out. I know a lot of people that are into the world of anime that really dig that. So that's it for now, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I look forward to sharing more stuff with you. And again, if you guys like what you see, please share this and follow me both on TikTok and YouTube. I'm also going to be running a special promotional video, like I mentioned earlier. Special promotion, like I mentioned earlier. Beginning of October, whoever shares this the most will get a special mystery package with some goodies, some movies, maybe a graphic novel. It's a big mystery, but whoever shares it the most is going to get that. So be sure to share. That's it, guys. I love you, and have a great weekend.